viewers out there, you're welcome to our special coverage of the 2023 AFCON. My name is Afa Acho. Salifu Usman is also in the studio with me. Salifu, welcome to our 2023 AFCON studios.
Thank you, Afa. It's always my delight.
All right, on today's edition of the show, we will start by giving you a review of yesterday's matches. Of course, interesting matches went down yesterday in the 2023 AFCON, but the biggest winners for yesterday's matches were defending champions Senegal, who actually completely outclassed their opponents 3-0 in that one. Talifu, quickly, so far looking at the games yesterday, in the other game, Cameroon played out a 1-1 draw, but of course Senegal showed that looks like we are here to defend our title.
Yeah, in every competitions, there's almost expectations on the defending champions. If you are coming for a tournament, everybody always looking at the defending champions, and we are coming with ambitions of defending the champions. And there's no any better way to prove that yes, we are all ready to defend the title. And Senegal actually justified that they are the champion and actually proves to the world and proves to the Africa in particular yesterday that they made the business and they're still meaning to retain the title. Mind you, if you're looking at African football at the moment, Senegal are dominating the African football at the moment. They are holding the AFCON title or the AFCON title. They are holding on the 20 AFCON title. They are holding on the 17 AFCON title, and they are also holding beach soccer AFCON title. Yeah. So in every AFCON major titles, apart from the women title, there is with Senegal, and it clearly shows that they made business and they rapidly prove yesterday. And if you look at that squad yesterday, it's almost a complete different squad from the team that won the competition 2 years ago. Apart from the lack of money and the Bali and a few others that were part of that team, it's a completely young team, and it clearly shows that a nation that will mean business, that doesn't rely on the certain particular, and they are close. A whole lot of many players who were part of the other 2 years ago, we have grown up. The camera that scored 2 years ago, we're not part of the team like 2 years ago. So, and they have justified. And now, if you're looking at from the start of the competition, from the first match, Cote d'Ivoire, then the Nigerian match, the Nigerian match, and the Ghana match, Nigeria struggled to draw against Equatorial Guinea. Ghana lost 0 to Cape Verde. Ghana is one of the powerhouses in Africa. They lost 2-0 to Cape Verde in the second match, and everybody hoping that is it going to be an AFCON upset? Senegal no. Senegal needs to say no. We are here for business, and they likely prove yesterday that starting with 3 goals. And we're paying yourself in the same group that also have Guinea and Cameroon. When you have a Gambia and your first man, you need to show that you are up there now with 3 goals, 3 points. And ahead of the Cameroon and the Equatorial Guinea, who play a 1-1 draw in the other group match yesterday.
Yeah, of course, Cameroon played out a 1-1 draw with Guinea.
Yeah, if you're looking at the Cameroon,
and if you notice in that game, it looked like Guinea took the lead.
Yes,
so it was going to look like maybe this could be, but it wouldn't have been an upset per se, because Guinea, they might not have won any title yet, but Guinea is not. At least when it comes to AFCON, they have quite a solid pedigree.
Yes, Guinea has a solid pedigree in Africa. They are always a perennial. Yeah. They are always present in the AFCON tournament. And if you're talking about African football, in as much as you may not see is Guinea as a major powerhouse in African football, but they are also not a minor in Africa game. Guinea versus Cameroon, whatever is anyway, you wouldn't say by offset per se. But if you're looking at the history and the experience and the pedigree of every other team, any victory for Guinea against Cameroon is always seen as an offset. And if not for the red card yesterday, that remember Guinea get the red card in the first half of the match. If not for that, I believe maybe they could have run away with a victory yesterday. And if you're looking at the Cameroon team, even me, I was surprised. I'm not surprised that Cameroon strong against the Guinea. Was missing, and there's another 2 other key players that were also missing that spot yesterday, and coping with the goalkeeper or Nana, who is still might describe that he is preferred to stay with the.
He trained up with the team.
But he delayed his presence. He delayed his presence. Yeah, exactly. He delayed his presence. That means he has preference to Manchester United than the country, and well, maybe I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it's the absence of Ghana that caused that. But if you have there, it will be another additional moral boosting for the Cameroonians. But let's look at it. It's still early to say which shall be here. And the good thing that if you play the first match in a major tournament and you draw in every competition, all sense of it's not a bad result.
Yeah, and of course, the last match saw Algeria against Angola, which is 1-1. You look at that one when it comes to Angola too. Yeah, in recent times, Angola's too are not completely pushovers when it comes to African football. But you see a team like Algeria, you expect them to have gotten to some certain height when it comes to African football. But the Algerian team still not too convincing yet.
Yes, Algerian teams, if you recall, after they win the competitions in 2019 in Egypt, coming to the last edition, in 2 years ago in Cameroon, Algeria were almost 31 matches unbeaten run.
Yeah.
Coming to that competition, but they came to Cameroon strong, only managed to win their last match against Cote d'Ivoire, who's just at that time they almost covered their edges for the tournament. And here again, they come to this tournament with another high pedigree, in the sense that they are in their last 8 matches. They are here to drop any point, to lose any match in their last 8 matches. They have won all their last 8 matches. In their last 8 matches, they have won 6, draw 2, and head to head. If you look at Angola, Cameroon, and Algeria is far ahead of Angola in terms of the two sides have met. Have met 3 previously with Algeria dominating the procedure. Angola, in as much as we say Angola it's not to a minor, but Angola pedigree in the people begin to record with Angola in 2006 when they qualify ahead of Nigeria for the World Cup. That is where people begin to name Angola. Angola is also a football that can play football. Before they not much can see for Angola, and even after them, Angola has not been too ever present in the African Cup of Nations. They were not at the last edition. And here, the strong one is expected that Algeria to have carried the day yesterday. But to my greatest surprise, all their great players were able to put up their best performance. And to the extent that even the former Manchester United star, Mahrez was rather useless on the team. He couldn't even make. For me, he has a very frustrating night yesterday. Yeah. He couldn't make any move, and he was completely marked out.
All right, does that for Angola, Tunisia, and of course some other interesting matches will be up today starting from 3 p.m. So the first match is Burkina Faso and Mauritius. Now looking at that game, of course, when it comes to football, Mauritius you can't say much about Mauritius because clearly they are one of the teams you might refer to as minors. Don't forget that. For Burkina Faso also, when it comes to African football, they have a certain pedigree. Don't forget that in 2013 when Nigeria emerged champions, it was against a solid Burkina Faso side in the final. So coming up against this Mauritius side, you will expect the Burkina Faso side to at least carry the day, but one can never tell.
One can never tell, and precisely if you look at the result of this AFCON so far, having a name does not matter. And it's what you are able to do within the 90 minutes of action. That is what it's not counting. But in terms of history and in terms of pedigree, Burkina Faso has more football pedigree compared to Mauritius. Burkina Faso is always ever present in the African Cup of Nations. Even at the last edition, they were also in Cameroon making to the quarterfinal compared to Mauritius. But to me, I think it's going to be an interesting ties for these two sides. And if you are in the same group that comprise Angolas, and in the same group that comprise Angola and Algeria. So for you to hope that you are going to excel and progress to the next round of the competition, you need to start well in the opening match against Mauritius. So Burkina Faso will do themselves better if they get the results in this match. And for Mauritius, if you dare to underrate Mauritius, you may be doing so at your own peril. So and the Mauritius will definitely want to get the result against Burkina Faso before the next match against Algeria.
All right, we'll go on a quick break. When we return, Sport Orbit Extra continues. Don't go nowhere.
part of our brand. Leadership for God and country. Be part of our brand. Leadership for God and country.
All right, welcome back from that break. So, of course, the other match for today will be Tunisia, who will be up against a Namibian side. And when you look at Namibia, also their pedigree in football is really not up there. Namibia are really known for more for rugby and cricket, but we all know when it comes to football, Tunisia has a certain pedigree. Most of North African football, yeah, they always have certain, but Tunisia too are one of the teams that you might say that they always come with plenty of expectations to the AFCON, but at the end of the day, still end up living up empty-handed in most cases.
Yeah, I consider the Tunisia, just like Brazil, I consider as one of the overachievers in African football, and they're always a team that come with a whole lot of expectation. If you are talking of the domestic league, Tunisia has one of the best domestic league in Africa. And anytime they came to the tournament, they always qualify for African Cup of Nations, including the World Cup. They are always ever present at the World Cup. But however, they have not really demonstrated their potential to show that yes, they are a force to reckon with. Tunisia's the only time they have won the last time and the only time they have won this competition was 2004 when they hosted the competition. And ever since then, ever since they have not been too impressive in the tournament. The only time they succeeded in doing well was 2006. In 2006, that was 2 years later when they came as the defending champions over Egypt in 2006, and they eventually make it to the semi-final, but they finished fourth, were losing the loser game to Nigeria in the playoff, and then another time again they make it to the semi-final was 2019 in Egypt again, and they lose that particular match to Egypt in the semi-final, and in the loser game in the third place match they clash with Nigeria, and which Nigeria also have upper hand against them again at the last edition. Yes, they struggle. At the last edition in Cameroon, they struggled to even qualify from their group, but eventually they managed to qualify as one of the best losers to qualify for the second round. But in the second round, surprisingly, they put up a very brave performance against Nigerian side that everybody have seen before, with that is already champion, because Nigeria put up a impressive performance in the first round, and they met Nigeria when everybody was that Nigeria is going to run or whitewash them. They still turned to be a different. On the contrary, and they beat Nigeria 1-0 and then get to the quarterfinal. But in the quarterfinal, they were knocked out of the competition. But if you're looking at Namibia in the other hand, this particular competition will be the 16th time Tunisia is making their presence in the Africa Cup of Nations. But in Namibia, in the other hand, this is the first time they are qualifying for the Africa Cup of Nations. And in their last 3 previous editions, they are making them to qualify. they lose all their match. It's only one time that they managed to even score one goal in the tournament. They have never even to score a goal. They only managed to score a single goal in the tournament in their previous three edition. So if you're looking at that, based on this pedigree and the statistic, it would better or definitely say, like, let me put my money on Tunisia. But sometimes you may put your money and you may get it wrong because football now, just like saying that there is no minor in football and every countries are beginning to improve. So we can't use the past to just the Namibian that the Tunisia is going to have the run or get the best of their out of it. But if Tunisia must do themselves a good favor in this tournament, and if you are in the same group that comprise Mali and South Africa, so the best time to start is to get a better result against Namibia, because I see Namibia as just a giver of points, even boys we gifted the point away from all the team. So if Tunisia by any mistake mistakenly or happen to get a result against Namibia, that would be their great undoing. But obviously they stand a chance compared to Namibia to get a better result against Namibia. But the Namibia, they call them brave warrior. So everybody that's call it brave warrior, you can expect what the warrior can do.
Of course, clearly, like you said, and sometimes these teams that when you don't even know much about them, sometimes they have a way of springing surprises. So, like you said, the Tunisians must be very, very wary of the brave warriors of Nigeria. Of course, the last match for today will be against past winners South Africa against a Malian side. And when you even look at Mali, yes, Mali too have not laid their hands on the AFCON ever, but somehow they are always present.
They are qualified every president.
Exactly, you know, you can consider them as one of the West African powerhouses, and they are always not a so easy side. And if you look at Mali over the years, they have produced quite some fantastic players too. You know, so looking at South Africa, for me, this one will be a difficult one to predict because South Africa, you know, neither. You can't really, South Africa, there are some times when they put up brave performances, but sometimes you expect South Africa to do something special and they crumble. But looking at this game, Mali, South Africa, it's like a fight of equals.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. A fight of equals, if you look at it, it's almost, if you ask me to go, I would say 50-50. Yeah. But because 50-50, if you look at the history between the two sides, Mali has never won it from one but they are always ever present, and it's a team that hardly get it. Every audition they always go beyond the group stage of the tournament. South Africa, on the other hand, we're not at the last edition in Cameroon, and the only time South Africa managed to win this competition was 1996. In the absence of Nigeria, because Nigeria was not present. If Nigeria so if Nigeria was present at that tournament, maybe it would be a different ball game. So they celebrate on behalf of Nigeria because Nigeria was not present because of the diplomatic rub between Nigeria and South Africa. So Nigeria was not present in South Africa for the 1996 AFCON, and that was the only time. The first time and the only time South Africa have taken this title. And if you're looking at the two sides between South Africa and Nigeria, those two teams have met 5 times previously. In these 5 times they have met previously, Mali have won it 2 times, South Africa have won it 2 times, and the 2 of them has played 1 draw in the game. So it is looking at the aggregate result between them, it's always 50-50. You beat me 2 times, I beat you 2 times. But the reason, talking of the current and the recent result, favors South Africa compared to Mali. The result South Africa gets a better result compared to Mali. So obviously it's going to be a classic one. South Africa, they always call themselves that they always have everything going for them, but sometimes they are always a team. They are just like describe them as England, that they will just come with a whole lot of noise. They don't make any single noise. They don't make any single noise. So, but I don't see South Africa going out easily from this competition. But to me, this is one of the key points because they are in the same group with Tunisia. And Tunisia, South Africa, Mali, all of them have the potential to qualify from the group, except Namibia, that we are just looking at them that they likely not be able to, or sometimes we'll be wrong. But let's see how it's going to be. But South Africa, Mali is going to be a very dicey one for the two sides, and it's very difficult for anybody to predict.
And when you look at Mali, there was a period where Mali really produced some really fantastic players who played for top clubs in Europe. But today it looks like they seem to be, with progression or having a dwindling of fortunes when it comes to players who play at the highest level.
It's not only Mali. It's happened to every other nation. So Cote d'Ivoire is another example. Another example. Even Nigeria is another example to some extent.
But Nigeria, you could still
although Nigeria has worked it compared to other people, but there was a time that we have several players play in the Premier League, but today we don't have any kids that play in the Premier League. Even Ghana is also, so sometimes we have it happen to Ghana. Several other countries have to, but Mali, during the time of where they have the like of Kanouté, they have the Moses Sissoko, Diarra, and several other players. But you can't say of that of the present squad. But when you don't know much about that, that's also the say that every other person on the base is a potent danger. But so the one thing is that South Africa has a very good coach. It was a very good coach and very experienced coach.
In fact, at a point there are even rumors of Nigeria, the NFF wanting to approach him.
But it's a coach with the experience about African game.
Well.
So I think this is one of the things that may likely going well for South Africa. But however, let's how it's going to be. The 19 minutes of tonight's game will tell the different story. And for any of them, this is the match to start, because if you don't start well in this match, you need to get us to South Africa. Tunisia is on the other end, so you have to be very careful on how you are going to play the match.
So if I might give a chance to ask you to predict these 3 games, what will your predictions be like?
Yes, I told you earlier, I think Mali, South Africa, it will be very difficult to call. It's always, I will say 50-50, so I will not be surprised by any other side that will win that match. So whoever win is good, but I see that that match will likely end draw. That is what I see. Tunisia and Namibia, I think Tunisia has 60% of winning that match compared to Mali, compared to Namibia, who is just 40%. But Tunisia, I see Tunisia's the run out will be bit, but what happened to Algeria and then Angola, one will be have to be very careful when they have full autonomy that Tunisia begin. And talking of Mauritius, Burkina Faso, obviously Burkina Faso are always hungry players, and they're definitely going to spike. It's surprising. Going to get away with all the data points.
All right, those matches will begin from 3 p.m. just a few minutes away, while second match comes up 6 p.m. and the last match will come up at 9 p.m. Be sure that on our coverage we will be watching those games, and tomorrow we'll give you a complete review and give you an update of matches that will come up tomorrow. So that's our package on today's edition of our coverage of the Nations Cup. Salifu, thank you for being in studio on this edition of the program.
Thank you, Alpha.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow once again. Do have a wonderful time out there. My name is Alpha Acho, and it's bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.